The sound of her laughter still echoed in my ears, even years after the moment that changed everything. Anna had been the love of my life, or so I thought. Her smile lit up the room, her touch could calm the wildest storm in me, and her promises were the anchors to which I had tethered my soul. We met in college. It was one of those serendipitous encounters, a spilled coffee, a muttered apology, and a glance that lingered just a moment too long. From that day, our lives became intertwined. Anna was everything I wasn't, bold, spontaneous, and endlessly optimistic. I was the quiet one, content with books and solitude, but she pulled me into her orbit, and I gladly let her. Our relationship grew quickly. By the time we graduated, we were inseparable. Marriage seemed like the natural next step. I proposed to her on a rainy afternoon under the old oak tree where we first kissed. Her tearful yes was the happiest moment of my life. The wedding was a dream. A small ceremony in a countryside chapel, surrounded by close friends and family. As Anna walked down the aisle, I felt an overwhelming surge of love. This was it, I thought. This was forever. But forever is a fragile thing. The first year was blissful. We travelled, laughed, and built a home filled with love and memories. But life, as it often does, began to throw challenges our way. Work became demanding, finances grew tight, and the once endless conversations between us turned into curt exchanges. It started subtly. Anna began staying late at work more often, and I too buried myself in my job to avoid the tension at home. The warmth that once defined our relationship started to fade. One evening, as I waited for her to return home, I found myself scrolling through old photos of us. There we were, smiling and carefree. How had we drifted so far from those moments? When Anna walked through the door that night, I confronted her. "Is everything okay? You've been so distant lately." She hesitated, her eyes avoiding mine. "I'm just tired, Alex. Work is stressful." I wanted to believe her, but a nagging feeling told me there was more to the story. It was a rainy Tuesday when I found the messages. Anna had left her laptop open, and a series of notifications caught my attention. Curiosity quickly turned to dread as I read the words exchanged between her and a man named Daniel. They weren't explicit, but they didn't need to be. The intimacy was undeniable. My heart pounded as I confronted her that evening. "Who is Daniel?" I asked, my voice trembling. Her face paled. "He's just a friend you share secrets with, a friend you clearly care about more than me." Tears welled up in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were tears of guilt or frustration. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "I was lonely, Alex. We've both been so distant." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. Had I failed her? Had I been so caught up in my own world that I hadn't noticed her slipping away? We tried to make it work. Counselling sessions, heart-to-heart conversations, and countless promises to do better. But the foundation of our relationship had been shaken, and trust, once broken, is hard to rebuild. I became paranoid, questioning every late night, every glance at her phone, every unexplained absence. Anna, in turn, grew resentful of my constant suspicion. The love that once defined us was replaced by bitterness and regret. Eventually, we made the painful decision to part ways. Divorce was not an easy process, but it was necessary. As I signed the papers, I felt a mix of relief and sorrow. The chapter of Anna and me was over, and I was left to pick up the pieces of my shattered heart. Years passed, and life moved on. I found myself reflecting on the institution of marriage and what it truly means. Society paints it as the ultimate expression of love, a bond unbreakable by time or circumstance. But my experience taught me otherwise. Marriage is not a guarantee of happiness. It is a commitment, yes, but it is also fraught with challenges and vulnerabilities. Love, in its purest form, does not require a piece of paper or a grand ceremony. I began to question whether marriage was something I truly believed in, or if it was merely a societal expectation I had unconsciously embraced. Could I love deeply without the constraints of a contract? Could I build a life with someone without the pressure of forever hanging over us? Today I am at peace with my decision to remain unmarried. It is not a rejection of love, but an embrace of a different kind of freedom. I have learned to cherish the connections I make without the need to define them by traditional standards. Anna's betrayal was painful, but it also taught me valuable lessons about myself and what I want from life. Love is not about ownership or permanence. It is about mutual respect, understanding, and growth. And so, I walk forward, unburdened by the expectations of marriage, open to the possibilities that life has to offer. This story is a reflection on the complexities of human relationships and the transformative power of adversity. While it may not dissuade everyone from marriage, it serves as a poignant reminder that love and happiness can take many forms, each valid in its own right.